What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin podcast. Andre, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Just running around like a chicken with my head cut off for a few minutes there, but otherwise in excellent spirits.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm feeling pretty good myself. Although X-Men 97 is over, so um, Wednesday is going to be a very hard day without having a new episode up. But if you have had a chance to, myself, Vicky, and our good friend Jen did our season review of X-Men 97 a few minutes earlier, so y'all can check that out. It's on the channel. I'll try to have the audio up tonight. So that is up. Don't forget, BIPOC Streamer Awards. We are in the second round. So if you have not voted, I left a link in the description. Please go to the BIPOC Streamer Awards, the vote here tab, and make sure to vote. So we can make it out of that second round this year. Other than that, Andre, man, what you been playing?
Um, Honestly, a bunch of stuff because I'm trying to hit my backlog up. Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. I've gotten into Deep Dungeons of Doom again because I started that, didn't really play through it very much. Went back and played Mega Man X6 again to re-torture myself and figure out why I had problems with that game, just to figure out that it's because of how they set it up. Played Silent Hill again for a moment and trying to get my PS3 fully set up so I can start playing my PS2 games and stream and record them.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I completely forgot that I bought Neo, The World Ends With You, when it was on sale last year. So I played the demo and I loved the demo, and it was on sale. I'm like, oh, snap, let me scoop it up. And I forgot I never played it. So I've been playing that. Been playing a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 2 on my Xbox. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. Even though that story is convoluted and makes absolutely no sense, I love Kingdom Hearts 2. 3, not so much. 2, yes. So been playing that. Playing Tales of Kinsara Zao, and I've also been playing went back and started back playing Tales of Vesperia because of Sandstorm. So
Got dragged in.
Got dragged back into it. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. So this week we're stuck in development hell, and we're also mad that there's an African samurai in a video game, even though this is an actual historically correct individual who actually lived. Some don't just love like the internet, man. How people be telling themselves. Don't just love that.
What sticks out to me weird with this situation is that now people are worried about the accuracy of calling him a samurai.
Well,
when there are multiple other games that he was featured in as a samurai. Now people are worried about him. It's like, hold on. Y'all worried about
Care
this
about Samurai Warriors 5?
Yep. Neo 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then Samurai Warriors 5 and a few other games. There's also been an anime about it. And there are multiple books.
Multiple.
So it's like, why are we worried about this now? Y'all worry about historical accuracy from one Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Which that whole game is based on historical fiction, which basically means they take a situation or a character and they make a story around it. One of my favorite animes is a historical fiction anime, Rurouni Kenshin. It takes a situation that happened and a few characters that are actually real, like Hajime Saito, and they create a fictional story around it. Nothing wrong with that. Nobody seems to have a problem with that. Now, there's some people who are trying to say, oh, it's because they're in Japan, they should have a Japanese person there. They have Naoe. I mean, your argument makes no sense. Just say you racist and get it over with, please. Just so that's one of those situations where I'm just like, I really don't understand what the problem is, because there is this person existed. we know about him because there's 2 years worth of things that was written about him. I think Oda actually wrote about him. So two
I
years.
mean, there's that, and then he also has his own memoirs that aren't still fully recovered. And again, if Nobunaga had actually not been assassinated that night, we probably would know more about him.
Yeah,
Been
they
in,
were best friends. They were close. I ain't gonna say they were best friends. They were close.
but the thing is, I'm like, why are people worried about historical accuracy now from Assassin's Creed, where you have, if I swear, if I remember correctly, Leonardo da Vinci basically built a tank.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, there's no way this works. Like,
No.
it's historical fiction. It's
Yeah.
always been historical fiction or alternative history, whichever way you want to say it.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, hey, it's Japan. The only argument that I think is valid in this whole thing is Japan. I think some people say I think both protagonists should have been Japanese. I can understand that. But the whole thing about worrying about whether or not he's an accurate depiction makes no sense because, again, every other depiction of this character from Japanese literature and Japanese media has shown him as a full-fledged samurai.
Yeah.
When did that become changed all of a sudden? Just because he's a lead character in Assassin's Creed?
Like I said, people been telling themselves this week.
Like, there's something like, don't you remember when Assassin's Creed used to be accurate? No, I don't.
No,
because
I don't.
Played it. I've played the first 4 games. It was never historically accurate.
No. Was Black Flag accurate? No.
No. The only thing that was accurate about Black Flag at the time was that a lot of white Europeans were pirates.
Yeah, because they were pretty much kicked out because the British Crown pretty much like, yeah, you know what, we don't need you no more.
They were basically kicking out all of their
privateers
and all of their
the people that actually knew how to
criminal and all their criminals.
Yeah,
so they were getting rid of all of them.
Yeah, so there was y'all go do whatever until they started robbing them.
and doing the research for this, just some research because I was looking up some stuff. If this was an earlier period in Japan, there would have potentially been a African shogun.
Yeah,
but nobody talks about him.
About that, yeah.
Nobody's talking about him. Like, if y'all really want to push this, then if we're trying to correct history is always determined by whoever wins the conflict. Just so you know, like anything
or whoever writes it,
anything that could have been written about Yasuke could have potentially been destroyed. Especially when you realize that Mitsuhide
didn't like him.
He was a nationalist.
Yeah,
he didn't care. If we be real about all the stuff that's written about Nobunaga, he was very eclectic and he was very into learning about other cultures, especially stuff he didn't know about.
Yeah.
So if that's why I'm like, how is it unbelievable that he could have been a samurai?
It's actually not, because he would have trusted him over, and that's another thing that I do like. When I was reading about him like years ago, I'm like, wait a minute, Mitsuhide didn't like him, but Mitsuhide knew he could beat him head up either. So,
and on top of that, killing him would have done, if anything, if he would have killed him.
Yeah.
If we're speaking logically for the time period, what we know about it, if he would have killed him, he would have made him a martyr.
Yep, and that was not what he wanted to do.
And that would have only done things to strengthen the people that still supported Nobunaga.
Yeah, and the other thing too, from what was written, from what I gleaned from it, was that they loved Yasuke. They loved him.
Japanese people still now love him.
Yeah,
like, I've seen so many different posts, and I want to put everybody on game real quick. If you translate a post and it comes out being almost perfect English, that is somebody faking.
Yeah,
that's somebody that went into Google Translate and translated what they would say into Japanese. If you're looking at what a native speaker says, it's going to look funny. Because there are some people, some guys said, "Oh, I love black people. I would love to have one by my side." But when they say it, there's the literal words. It's literally what they're saying. I would love to be around black people. I would like to be around black people. That's what it means. It's not something where they just think black people are all great.
Yeah.
It's I would love to be around black people. That's all that means. But if you see it and it translates into perfect English, that's probably somebody faking.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now.
If you can see what my name thing says, Wikipedia is not a valid source. That's why I've kept that up there.
So many people keep going to use Wikipedia as their source. I was like, man,
it's not a valid. It's not a valid source.
It's not a valid source. The sources can be valid.
Yeah,
but Wikipedia itself is not a valid source because anyone can change it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
why if you're in college and you write a paper and you use Wikipedia,
they'll tell you can't use it as a source.
Yep.
It's not a good source.
You ain't passing that paper. I'll tell you that right now.
Nope. All of your stuff will be invalidated completely. Yep. But I don't know. Like, I was so irritated by this whole thing. I've done that. I've re-recorded the discussion like 4 times.
Bruh, I've just been laughing because like people been telling on themselves. I've been laughing. Even people just been telling themselves all week, and I'm just like, it really ain't even that serious. Because you can, if you wanted to know about them, there are places you can go to know about them.
Yeah,
like, yeah, there are going to be some differing things because there's some stuff, because a lot of stuff was taken out of the Chronicles of Oda. There's some stuff from his own journals because we don't know what happened to him after they told him to leave. Yeah. Some historians believe he left. Some historians believe he stayed. Because Mitsuhide dies like, what is it, 10 days after the betrayal?
Yeah.
He does not live that long, dude.
No,
so,
he
that was the person who told him to leave. So they don't know if he left or not. Because if he would have left, there's a pretty good chance he would have been back enslaved. Because he was a slave when they first met. Yeah. The first 2 times Yasuke meets Oda Nobunaga, he's a slave. The very first time they brought him to port, they took him back, and then they brought him back the next year, and that's when he was like, he's staying with me. And they were like, yeah, he's our slave. And, yeah, that's what I thought.
But this is another thing people don't realize. Like, okay, y'all trying to say he couldn't have gone there and learned Japanese in a short period of time. But like, do you not realize, like, if you're a person stuck in an environment where other people speak a language separate from yourself, you will adapt and learn that language?
Well, it's actually, and once again, this is done by research. He actually spoke like 5 different languages. Japanese was not the only one. He did not speak Portuguese and Italian. He was from a village in Africa that I think was around where present-day Benin would be, so it would be in Mali. So he spoke, he spoke different languages already. So
he had to, because Nobunaga didn't know any other language than Japanese. So
yeah, so he learned Japanese and he picked it up quick. That was one of the things that stood out to me when I was reading about him was how quickly he took to everything. He learned Japanese quick. He picked up swordsmanship quick. He already knew how to spear fight and wrestle, because they what's that? I'm trying to remember what the name of that wrestling style is. And
sumo?
No, it's African wrestling.
Oh yeah, nah.
He knew that one, so he knew how to defend himself. That was like, dude, he's actually a very interesting character, actually interesting person. If you actually take the time to read about him, he's actually very interesting. So once again, people have been telling themselves all week, and at this point, I'm just like, just say you don't like black folks. Just say you don't like black folks. Just say you don't believe that we don't do anything of substance, so we can just go on. You'll feel a whole lot better about yourself. You will.
Wait.
Stop trying to hide and be like, oh no, I'm not racist. I'm just bringing up the fact. No, you're not. You're lying.
Wait, but anybody that went ahead and said, oh, they're trying to rewrite history. You can't rewrite history in a video game, especially when the video game has never been an accurate depiction of what we know of history.
I've said this before, and I will say this again. There are 8 billion people on this planet. The Switch has sold 141 million units. You're not rewriting history with no damn video game.
No. Now,
right?
if anybody wants to say that Ubisoft went ahead and used Yasuke because it would be an easy pick because of his skin color. Yeah, they probably did,
Yeah.
especially since a lot of talk has been happening around him more recently.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of talk has been happening
Like there's a
around him
couple
more
of there's a
recently, so
couple
it
of
makes sense.
there's a couple of indie video games that are using him as a main character.
Yeah, there's one now where there's one that's being made right now where a guy is making a fictional continuation of his life through his grandson, or
Yeah.
a fictional grandson.
Because he's been posting the stuff. He's been doing it since 2021, and
Yeah.
and the animation looks great. Like it's hand drawn. It looks hand drawn, and I've been following the dude's stuff. He's been doing a good job. Like he's been doing it since 2021. So
All this crap has made him depressed about working on this game.
I'm like, and it shouldn't, because I'm actually looking forward to playing it. Still am.
I'm pretty sure I'll end up picking it up, but it's just
like,
if people are worried about accurate depictions of stuff, this is too late.
Yeah, y'all way too late.
Too late now.
But it kind of reminds me of the arguments the people was mad about Tales of Kenzera. I'm like, it's an African game made by an African for an African person to talk about, with the theme of like grief and loss, and you're mad because the main character is a black male. Man, sit down somewhere, dude.
And it didn't help that EA went to Sweet Baby and consult on that. Yeah. I was like, I don't know why you needed them when you have the guy right there got the experience
right
to
there.
Talk about.
You don't need to talk.
Like you didn't need them.
It
just tarnished the hell out the daggone image of the game.
I'm not gonna say her name, but that woman has done so much damage to the doggone.
Yeah, yeah, she definitely
has, and she ain't even a gamer.
Never was.
She was a grifter, and so many people listen to her.
Too many people. Now there is one thing I will talk about for the other side of the argument, and that's that the creator or the writer for the team for this said one of the dumbest things that she could have said.
Oh Lord!
And it's like we're talking about a game based in Japan. Why did you at all bring up Caucasian people? We have enough white male protagonists. It's Japan. There would not have been one.
There would not have been one.
there would not have been one at the time.
There really wouldn't have. You really didn't have to say that.
You made the argument. If you would have just shut up, all you had to do is shut up. You made any potential arguments against y'all doing something stupid. You opened the floodgates. Completely opened the floodgates.
I didn't know she said that. I didn't know she said that.
Yeah, she did. She went on record to say that, and I think IGN covered it.
Oh, why am I not surprised?
I'm not.
Why am I not surprised?
Like, I'm gonna just say it like this: if I was the one in charge of writing it, personally, I would have started out. I would have definitely done 2 Japanese characters for the first game, but I would have been planning an immediate follow up because I would have used Mitsuhide as one of the main characters first to tell the story lead up to Nobunaga's death. And then following right behind that, I would use Yasuke as the other main character for the next game to go take out Mitsuhide to complete the story.
That makes sense.
That would have made sense to me to do.
But
because I would have already peaked at the fact that we had so much stuff going on, especially even within the last few years, we had so much stuff going on where people are hung up on certain things. This one was easy to see.
Yeah. My only thing about that is like games like Samurai Warriors 5 where they've done Mitsuhide and Nobunaga to death.
I understand that.
So I would have, I probably would have started after that. I probably would have started after the betrayal, to be honest. But it's just one of those situations where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because like I said, if you read about Yasuke, he's interesting. He's very interesting. So I can understand from that standpoint, like, yes, we can actually craft it around that because we could have the player visiting Japan through his eyes. So
which I think that was what they originally said. That's what the point was, to view Japan through his eyes as a foreigner, as well as having Aoi's perspective being
my thing,
local.
I just find it funny that people are just acting like she don't exist. I just like the fact that people are acting like she don't exist. I'm like, she's literally on the cover in the doggone trailer.
She was the first character you
first
saw.
person you see. And they act like she don't even exist. I'm like, bruh, really? Really? Oh, okay, dude. At that point, I can't take it seriously. People like that I can't take seriously.
Like she's the assassin character for the game because she's the ninja.
Yeah.
So she's the assassin. It's just I don't know. That's one of them things where I'm like lost on people's attitudes for everything.
And like, and I think, and I don't really like to, you know, talk about this, but I'm like, O'Shea Jackson said it best, like, why y'all front? Y'all still gonna buy the game? And I'm like, facts. They are.
Yeah, a lot of people going to
They're gonna buy it anyway. Like, why do you care? Like, Valhalla wasn't damn accurate to Vikings.
I mean, in Valhalla, can't you actually physically visit Valhalla, which is not supposed to exist physically? So,
like I said,
so we're going with historical accuracy. How you gonna
Odyssey,
go to a place that don't exist?
Odyssey ain't historically accurate. Origins ain't historically accurate.
None
because
of them are.
Because you want to know how you really know it ain't historically accurate. Ain't no dark people in it, and they supposed to be in Egypt during that time period. They're all Middle Eastern, which we know
that wouldn't make sense because
that wouldn't make any sense. But you got people saying that being stupid.
You would have a mix of both.
Yes, but I don't understand how people think that a country on the continent of Africa don't have no black people in it. It never did.
I mean, it wouldn't have been called black back then.
Nah,
we'd just been dark skinned.
Dark skin, yeah.
But either way, I don't see the point in making that the thing that to be the thing to hang up on, to be the hill to die on, because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't. Since we were off last week, there's some stuff that happened, and I wanted to get the guys' takes on it, but we're missing a couple people tonight. But this first one is the studio closures. Now, I'm gonna say something, and I'm pretty sure people are gonna tell me I'm lying. But those people that tell me I'm lying have never worked in a corporate setting at all. Your boss can come out and tell you something and give y'all a rah-rah speech, and you be happy. And the next week, because they had the shareholder meeting, and some of the shareholders didn't like what they saw, they'll ask a whole division. I've worked at 2 corporations where that happened. We got a rah-rah speech. Everybody made what they needed to make. We met our goals. We were doing good. 2 weeks later, they asked the whole division. And we like, what? We made everything. Shareholders didn't like it. They didn't get what they wanted. So they asked the whole division. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm thinking just by how this went down, this wasn't a Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, or Phil Spencer decision.
No, it was definitely about him.
It was not their decision. So this article comes from Pure Xbox. I'm trying to bring it up if they let me. And this is where they pretty much sent Matt Booty out to basically give the reasoning, the PR reasoning, and it was basically the changes are grounded in prioritizing high impact titles, and that it wants to invest Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds, hinting that basically Microsoft wants to focus on bigger releases and stronger IP over at Bethesda. So you can read the rest of the statement here, but that to me says that wasn't a decision that was made by the game division.
Nah, that was Microsoft proper that made that decision.
Yeah, and once again, I don't know. I'm not sitting in their boardroom. They're not going to show me the numbers, but I'm pretty sure Hi-Fi Rush did very well for them. I'm pretty sure it did. And them sending it to Sony, good decision. I probably would have sent it to Nintendo, but I would have sent it everywhere. I wouldn't have just sent it.
Yeah.
I would have sent it everywhere. But that's just me. I would have did it like that. But I think people are too quick because they hate. And I know hate is a strong word, but when you see what some people be saying, it's hate. At this point, that's all it is. It's hate. So when you see people say that they're wrong for doing this and they lied, I'm like, bro, that don't sound like it was their decision. It sounds like the decision came from above them, and they're the ones that the faces of. Because you ever notice how you never see anybody on the board come through and say that? Nobody on the board of directors is gonna come down and be like, yeah, I'm the one that decided that we should cut all that. They're not gonna do that. They'll send somebody. They'll send Sarah Bond out there. Yeah, you talk about it. I don't think that was their call. Now, the Redfall, I mean, we had our own thoughts about that game when it released, and we got told that we were hating. And apparently we wasn't wrong, because the game did not do well. And on top of that, it had a lot of issues, especially at launch. And then the whole 30 versus 60 frames thing happened, and y'all know how that goes. But it never really recovered. The game never really recovered. And plus, another thing too is I think a lot of game developers and publishers, they want to do this push to live service, and it just ain't working. And they're pushing all their chips to the middle of the table for it when they really shouldn't be doing that, because it's not giving them the return that they want. They're not getting the return on investment that they want. And I think that's what's killing them, especially Ubisoft, Sony, Microsoft, Activision, all these big players. They're trying to push their chips in on live service. And I'm like, dude, yeah, there's been so many examples of that not working out for you. I don't know why you're trying to push it all to that, when you should be like, okay, if you want to do one or two live services to see how it goes, fine. But I don't know how they plan to certain developers plan to like get their money back up, because apparently it's not giving a return on investment for them. It just ain't. They're not getting a good return back. So I feel bad for Microsoft, because this is going to happen when you in a corporation like that. Now, yes, Microsoft proper is $1 trillion company, but that doesn't mean that they're not gonna, make the decisions that they feel are best for their business. And apparently, Microsoft proper feels that what's best for their business is them trimming the fat on Bethesda. That's just what they feel like, and then they're going to keep making the decisions that they feel are best for them. That's why I be telling people, like, look, you get mad at Nintendo all you want to, they're not going to change their mind on this power situation. They've already tried that and it didn't work. But on the flip side of that, what has worked for them is being themselves and doing crazy stuff. That has worked. But power did not work, because the 6th gen, they went power. GameCube only sold 22 million units.
It probably made more than that after they stopped counting, but that's all we got recorded.
So we got recorded, though. So that right there told them that, okay, y'all don't want that. The Wii goes on to sell what, 115 mil or something like that. It was over 100 mil.
I want to say it was about 120.
Yeah. So
I think the DS was the one that was close to 150.
Yeah, DS was crazy. DS at the time was crazy. But yeah, I mean, they're gonna do what they feel is best, and for them, that's what they feel is best. Which brings me to my next topic, which I think is was the whole reason.
Oh, J Biggs had it was 101.
101. Okay, yeah, right. But over 100 mil though. You jump from 22 to 101. Now you see why they do what they do. And on top of that, you got to remember, Iwata already foresaw that this was going to happen. Like, you can't maintain this. They're going to keep getting out of hand, and you can't maintain it. And guess what? Apparently, you can't, because
industry has just been slowly dying.
yep,
Just slowly.
yep. And I'm just So that's why I named this episode "Stuck in Development Hell," because as a gamer, I don't need to know every detail of the development process. I don't. I think some people want to know, and I don't know why. Because especially with this generation, we get so many games. You don't have an excuse of saying that you ain't got nothing to play. If you saying that, you're lying. You're saying that you're lying. Now you may not have something in your preferred category, like me. Your preferred genre, like me. I love RPGs and action adventure games. If there's a slowdown on that, I'm a casual when it comes to racers and fighting games. We still get a lot of those. There's always something dropping. You are not without content, which is kind of the problem too, because we're getting stuff so much that it's not. We're getting a lot of quantity and not a lot of quality.
Yeah.
So, I don't need to know every element of the development process, and I think a lot of companies, especially because I'm mad at Nintendo for this. Why are you putting out a trailer 4-5 years in advance? Case in point, Metroid Prime 4 should have never had a trailer come out. Bayonetta 3, when it dropped that trailer, should have never had that trailer come out.
Nope.
Perfect Dark should have never dropped the trailer. Everwild should have never dropped the trailer. Do y'all remember Everwild?
I remember Everwild them saying they didn't know what it was going to be.
They had a whole trailer and a developer talk right after, and they came out and said they didn't know what it was going to be.
Still didn't know what they was doing with it. Like, how you going to have a developer talk and a whole trailer for something you don't know what you're doing with it?
I'm like, why would you even say that? Like, don't interview them.
Just don't talk.
So, like, why are you doing that? Like, to me, a trailer should not come out until you are at least working on it. Like Wolverine should not have had a trailer come out when the team is working on Spider-Man 2.
And they weren't going to touch Wolverine until after they finished Spider-Man 2.
Like, the only thing they was working on, they had their art teams building art assets. That's it. And they went and made a trailer and put it out before Spider-Man 2 dropped. So I'm no. Do you want to know what's perfect for in that situation? What they did with Astral Chain and what they did with Marvel Ultimate Alliance. They dropped the trailer. The game came out 2-3 months later. None of this dropping it 4-5 years. The team ain't even working on it. Metroid Prime 4 team wasn't even working on it, and then they had to stop. They had Bandai Namco working on it. That blew up because I don't even know what they were doing, and now they had to give it back to Retro, and we ain't heard nothing since.
Nintendo said, "Nah, we see what y'all doing. Nope, we ain't going that route."
Yeah, so they deaded it and put it all the way back to Retro, which Retro was like, "Yeah, we already had a story waiting to go, but they didn't give it to us." And then they gave it to them, and we haven't heard nothing since. I mean, people hoping that it's in the direct that comes out in June because it's been, 2018, 6 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we going to be sitting there dealing with that.
Yeah, but I hate when they do that. So Tom, you are absolutely correct. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 messed it up for everybody. They put a date out on the trailer and then moved the date up because they finished it.
They got done way before they were ready to.
And all Nintendo did was swap Splatoon and that one. They just swapped them. Like, all right, fine. I mean, y'all done? Yeah, we done. So y'all did all the quality testing. Yep, Done. Bet. July. I know we said September. We're gonna put it out in July. Like what the?
That's one of the few times the game gets bumped up on release.
Yeah. So it it kills me, but I'm like, when Nintendo releases their successor, can we stop with this constantly putting trailers out for games 3-4 years in advance? You the Chronicles, I'm looking at you. 3-4 years in advance.
I still remember watching that trailer and then seeing that date and being so agitated.
Yeah, like, why would you put a trailer out? And then on top of that, not only put the trailer out, but then a year later, we had to push it back. Am I crazy? You already had it 3 years out. What you mean you got to push it back? Don't worry. The prequel is still on. The prequel is still on track to come out on time.
Oh man!
I don't give a damn about the prequel. I want the. So yeah. So I hate that. And it's just one of those things that I thought is very interesting because I think that a lot of this stuff that developers do, they do it to themselves. Like, stop telling people about what game you're working on. If you know getting well, it ain't nowhere near completion.
Well, I would say publishers more than developers because publishers out here trying to impress their shareholders, and shareholders don't really care about the industry itself. So it's becoming a huge self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I say both because of Twitter. Because developers be on Twitter now. Like,
yeah, too many of them
please shut up.
Talking mess.
Like, please shut up. Like, let your PR team handle it. Please shut up. Like, you'll see it. Like, you'll see like both of them do that. But I'm just it boggles my mind because that's what I think people can say about this next generation. Like, it has been one of the probably, we get so much content, but so much of it is underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to wait so much so to the point where we forget about the doggone game half the time.
Yeah.
And then we got people who get mad because, like, what was it with Tears of the Kingdom? Like, people got mad because a lot of misinformation was coming out because, it's just DLC. No. What Al Newman said was it started out like that, but then it got so big that we turned it into a full-on game.
Yeah. Comprehension is a heck of a thing.
I know. So I'm like, dude, that's not what he said. And people made Sakurai so mad, he flipped him off in binary.
That's still one of the funnier moments.
And people don't realize he was flipping them off.
He did it so he could.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about that. He had no reason to sign in binary.
No, he didn't. I'm like, you did that on purpose. And I'm here for it.
Just so people could screen cap him flipping everybody off.
Yep. I still think that, and I kind of feel bad because I saw some of the stuff that people was sending about not having Waluigi in the game. Like, dude, you got over 70 characters. And you mad about one? That you want to go cuss this man out?
That it likely wasn't his decision to make
anyway. Yeah. Like, he told people, like, Byleth was not my decision. That came from his bosses. So they put him in there. They put Byleth in there. That wasn't a Sakurai decision. So I'm like, bro, y'all, yeah.
A little too wild.
So the other thing that I thought was funny, and we kind of talked about this in the last episode a little bit, but I find it funny, like, Nintendo just be like staying out of shit while all this other stuff be happening. I just think it's funny to just sit back counting money and they like, what y'all do? Oh, y'all talking about, oh, dang, I had to close another studio. That's so sad. Yeah, re-release Luigi's Mansion, huh? Yeah, no, we ain't, nah, man. So are y'all gonna be at Summer Games?
Maybe.
No, but we'll have a direct in June though.
Like we'll be there, but we won't.
We will be there in spirit. How about that? We'll be there in spirit. Meanwhile, Jeff, stop bothering me. I'm counting money. Jeez.
Would you remember a couple months ago, everybody was trying to make that whole thing where Nintendo was letting go of contractors, try to make that a big thing, and it was it was around 100 people. It wasn't, and they were still employed by their agencies.
And that's because I tried to explain to people. I'm like, stop listening to these sob stories on Twitter because they're lying to you. When you work in a contract job, you work for a agency. You cannot go and talk to Nintendo themselves. Like with my job, I can't go and talk to the people at the top. I have to go through my company. My company talks to them. Like, so if you didn't have, because one dude was sobbing about not having work. If you don't have work, you need to go to your company. Your company will talk to Nintendo. You go try to talk to Miyamoto, he's gonna look at you like, who the hell are you? You gonna try to talk to Doug Bowser, like, who are you? Yeah, fire him.
And then, like, and I was about to say it. Jay Biggs put it in the chat.
Yeah, and
Nintendo ended up hiring on most of them. They only let go of like,
when it was all said and done, wasn't like under 50.
No, they let 100 people were out, but the majority of the people that they had contracted were hired on.
Yeah, because it was like contract to hire jobs.
Yeah, basically they liked a certain they liked certain people, so they hired those people to stay with them, and the ones that they ended up letting go could go back to their agencies and get new assignments.
Yeah, that's how contract jobs work. But and that's why you have to be very careful with people online, because people online, they know that, but when they go to Twitter, they betting on the general populace not knowing that, so they can get. I call it pity points, but that.
And it can get them. It can get them attention in a way that they think they can get what they want. Like they figured, if they push for this and they get enough attention, Nintendo may hire them on. But you got to think about it this way: that's a horrible look that you just put on Nintendo. Why would they want to hire you on?
They ain't gonna hire you.
Not for that.
They gonna look at you like, nah, hell no. What's that song by Nappy Roots? Oh no, hell no, boy. That's
like no. you just put out a bad air about me, but you think I owe you something.
I owe you something. Yeah. Okay.
But when I remember hearing that, and I was like, I've worked as a contractor before. I know that's not how that works.
That's not how that works. Like, no. You have to go to your company, and your company goes and talks to, because that's who they have a contract with. They got a contract with you personally. So no.
That's why you are a contractor and not the person signing and setting up the contracts.
Yeah. You have to go to your company, and your company will negotiate.
People, but why did Nintendo pay them out a stipend? Because Nintendo had to pay off the remainder of the contract to the company that they were getting the contractors from.
Yeah, they didn't pay the contractors individually. They paid the company.
They paid the company, and the company paid out the rest of what was owed to everybody for the contract that they were supposed to serve.
Yeah,
that's why that happened.
That's how that goes.
It's simple enough. Like, and that means the people that Nintendo hired on also got that bonus from that change, because everybody that was contracted with that agency got paid that way. That's it.
it's not rocket science. Yeah, it's not rocket science. It really ain't.
Like, stop thinking that 5 + 5 = 38. That's not what it is.
No, that's not. So that, to me, that's just funny, because I just love how they just staying out of all of this craziness.
They just standing on the side watching everything happen.
Yeah, they're watching the house burn. Like, dang, kind of messed up. Y'all ready to go back to the mansion?
Like, they'll be like, "Hey man, hey, can you light my cigar?"
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I kind of want to end this one on a little positive note. So we know we got the information that they will be dropping a direct in June, and they'll probably 9 times out of 10, the successor reveal will probably be like they did it in 2016 in November. That first trailer will be in November, and then we'll probably have a direct in probably January. They'll
Mm.
probably they probably won't do nothing at the Game Awards. We'll probably have something after the Game Awards just to really do that. Um,
Oh, and yeah, that trailer was actually October, not November.
yeah,
I keep thinking it's November. It's actually October.
October, yeah, because it was
It
right,
was right before November.
yeah, because it was
Right
only like a
before
3 minute trailer. It was only a 3 minute
it
trailer,
was right before Halloween, and everybody got hyped to the
yeah,
heavens.
and so I'm thinking they're gonna do the same thing. So
More than likely.
what I wanted to ask you is like, what do you think? What do you think your ideal launch lineup would look like if it was you
Ooh.
picking?
Okay, so from Nintendo, I'm only gonna give about 5 or 6 for their launch.
Mhm.
So we're going definitely, I would say Metroid Prime 4 as a cross gen. The next 3D Mario, um, Pokemon Legends ZA, because I figure that's going to be cross platform as well. Uh, a Zelda remake. I don't know which one, but a Zelda remake.
Do you think they're actually doing Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask?
They could be. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I just don't. I'm honestly, I don't think it's those
Mhm.
because honestly, they could be doing a remake of any of the DS games, and people act
They
like
could,
those don't exist.
yeah, because Link's Awakening remake was a fun one. That was fun.
So I'm just like, yeah, it could be any of those.
Yeah,
So that's 4, right?
that's for you.
Um, Now they have been talking about redoing some GameCube games. So part of me thinks that they're going to go ahead and take something like Geist,
Mm-hmm.
or in a surprise move, do Eternal Darkness.
My surprise move would be Skies of Arcadia, please, because that game costs way
That
too damn
that's
much.
that's Sega. You got to talk to Sega.
Man, look, dude, don't hurt my feelings.
You got to talk to Sega about that. Or
Yeah,
and one last one from Nintendo. Um, and this is if they could get Capcom to do it, but a remake of PN03.
oh, that would be cool. Or finally give us the Beautiful Joe collection or something.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Capcom hadn't did that. But then again, it's Capcom. Nothing surprised me. If Beautiful Joe would have had a Resident Evil character in there or a Monster Hunter character in there, they probably would have did it. uh, so for me personally, I'm thinking Metroid Prime 4 is probably going to be the cross-gen one. I also think that we'll probably get a Metroid Prime trilogy, HD trilogy,
Probably.
probably because I think we're getting 2 and 3 Shadow Drop at some point. Because remember, the rumor was they had all 3 of them done. It wasn't just the
Yeah.
first one. So
Well, the rumor at the time was that they had finished the first one and they were working on the other 2.
yeah, and they were almost one day supposed to be like almost done when they did that.
Yeah, they were pretty much right on the cusp of finishing them, as
Yeah,
far as I can tell.
yeah. So I would think that the next 3D Mario game does make sense because it's been since 2017 and they usually don't take this long.
Nah,
So I
and
have a feeling they
they
were
haven't
holding that
said
off.
they haven't said anything about it either.
Nothing.
That's what makes me suspicious.
Yeah, because that's only they dropping that at some point. But the other one that I was thinking that probably could, I do like the idea of because I keep hearing rumors about Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. I haven't heard anything about Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, but I have heard rumors about Ocarina and Majora's Mask getting a full on remake. I have heard about that. I just don't know if
Mhm.
that's true or not. So um, there is that. The other one though, Arms 2.
Oh yeah,
Because Arms did make money. Like people think that it didn't make money. No, Arms sold over a mil.
I
Like
think it sold around 2 to 3.
Yeah,
if I
so
remember correctly.
it's over $1 million, and that game did not cost much for them to make.
I think what was said that they had to only sell about 200,000 copies to
Yeah,
break
to make a
even.
prop. Yeah, to break. I thought it was to make a profit. No, to break. Yeah, you're right. To break even.
To break even that, and they sold well over that, so they
Yeah, 'cause
definitely made some money.
it was that one. Uh, what was Marvel? Marvel Ultimate Alliance had to sell 200,000. They made over $1 million. Astro Chain made over $1 million. Bayonetta made over $1 million. All of those that made over $1 million that they didn't. It didn't take much for them to break even.
The only game that they ever stated needed to be sold in the millions to make them some money was Breath of the Wild.
And that did above and
They
beyond.
did way over that.
Yeah, they did way over that. Dark Void, I read about that, but I don't know if that's true because the team is working on the next one.
I
And
mean,
it's not,
they're already
it
working
wouldn't
on the
be
next
them.
one.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be EAD. It wouldn't be our Numa's team making it. It would be somebody else. So
Yeah,
I don't know if I believe that or not. It we'll have to wait and see because I don't even know what it would.
don't know what it would be.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be because the thing is, like in lore, there ain't that many Zeldas that were actually fighters. They were all the majority of them were scholars. They weren't fighters per se. Like Twilight Princess Zelda was a fighter.
Yes, think as far as the games directly, and I'm not talking about Hyrule Warriors, but the games directly.
Majority of the time,
It's
she's not.
Twilight Princess and Wind Waker.
Yeah, that's it. In Wind Waker, she was a pirate. Like she would rob you,
Beat you
Zelda
up,
was
rob you.
about that life.
Look, beat you up, rob you, and launch you out of a cannon into somewhere in the sea, and don't care.
It wouldn't give a damn. So, yeah, I mean, that's. I know people. I know when people say they want standalones, I understand what they mean, but I don't think they understand what they mean because if you look at lore wise, Zelda's OP in every form. She's OP.
She's overpowered generally in Magic, but you'd have to find a way to counterbalance that for it to be interesting. Yeah. Plus, the puzzle gameplay would literally not really exist well for her because she's so damn smart.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, I don't think people
understand. And she can use her magic to do the puzzles, so it don't help.
It comes into another a Metroid Other M situation. People are asking for something and they don't know what they're asking for because they're saying, "Oh, we want this, this, and this," and if they give it to you, you're not gonna like it.
I mean, it really depends on what they do with it. But if they followed the route of like Other M, people are going to
complain. People are gonna hate it. Yeah, they're gonna hate it. Like,
even though most of them won't play it to actually hate it.
Yeah, because like I can see if they're gonna do because you know how I would do it. I would say if I was gonna do a Zelda spinoff where it's just Zelda, I would do it in them 7 years where she was on the run from Ganondorf during Ocarina of Time. Because that way you can have her training with Impa, have her doing missions, and that you can have 7 chapters and it'd be 7 years.
Yeah.
Until Link wakes up.
Where it makes sense.
Yeah, where it makes sense. That way you can see her because the whole thing with Sheik, it was an optical illusion. It wasn't. That's why she would never let Link get closer because if he touched her, the illusion would be broken and you'd see Zelda. You wouldn't see Sheik. So you can actually that one. I can see that working. I can see that working if they did it like that. But I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm skeptical about that anyway, just because it sounds too perfect.
It sounds too convenient also.
Yeah, too perfect and too convenient. And plus, I would love for Team Ninja to do it or Platinum.
Platinum, I think Platinum.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have it close quarters combat, then Platinum.
Yeah. So that's how I would do it. I would make it an action adventure game. I wouldn't make it like heavy on the puzzles and nothing like that. Because like you said, she'll just use magic. Like if you're going lore wise, she'll just use magic.
She just use her magic and solve the puzzle and keep it pushing.
Yeah. So
like nothing happened.
Yeah, it's one of those situations. That's why I said like Other M is probably the greatest game of people complaining about something. The developer list the the company listening and giving them exactly what they want, and then they hate it because they didn't realize what they were talking about.
Yep.
But people like me that played it was like, I need more of this.
The combat in that game was amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, I need Samus doing full on WWE and AEW moves. We need to get her doing.
I want her to roll up on a Ridley clone, stuff her cannon in his mouth, and pop off a charge shot.
Yeah, I want to see her do a British Bulldog on Kraid.
While having her cannon down on his skull, just blasting him as he falling.
Yeah, I freaking love Other M, man. Like, that's why I'm like, I love the idea of them doing two types of games, like two styles. Like, you have your first-person shooter stuff with the Prime series, but then you have everything else and let her do her fighting time. The only thing I would like to see out of Metroid would be a Zero Suit game, because one thing about Dread is, she was trained by the Chozo, and the Chozo use a variety of weapons. We never see her use a variety of weapons. I would love to see a Zero Suit game where she gets to use a variety of weapons. Let Team Ninja handle that one, because I think Team Ninja did a great job with Other M.
Yeah.
I would give them another shot, but just have somebody else write the story, because whoever wrote the story for Other M,
they tried.
They tried, but no.
They tried. And I think also the localized version of the story, we got lost some beats anyway that made some of the stuff not make so much sense.
Yeah.
As compared to the Japanese one.
Yeah. And also, I think it's probably about that time to probably put an AI in Samus's suit, because Samus is so stoic. Like, have it, if that's the direction y'all want to go and make her talk and all that stuff, have her have a AI that has some personality, because I love Samus.
She's got the Adam AI. I don't know why they haven't put it in her suit.
But they need to make him like Anthony.
Put it in her suit?
No, yeah, they need to make him like Anthony from Other M, though, that actually has a personality, because the problem with I love Samus, but she is serious, and that's why Other M to me didn't work, because I'm like, I don't want to hear her talking to herself. Like, give her an AI, suit AI that actually has some personality. And yeah, I know people be like, well, that's like Iron Man. I'm like, yes, I know, but
that's the only way
by
it
herself.
Work.
Yeah, most of the games she's by herself. The majority of these games she's by herself. So if you want her to talk, give her a Jarvis or a Ninja or something where she can have a back and forth with. To me, that fixes that issue.
And not have her be so stubborn that she does something stupid just to be spiteful.
Yeah, other than destroy a planet. I mean, that part she has to still do that.
Well, I'm talking more in the line of, you can activate your armor, but you don't. You walk into a place that's going to sap you of your health.
Yeah, like, because you listening to Adam Malkovich, man, bump that dude. Can't tell you what to do. You're a strong, independent woman. You don't need no man. So
nah. We can't go with that line of reasoning, because she definitely need Lil Mac.
I'm surprised, dude. I'm so surprised that Nintendo hasn't played that meme off. I'm surprised they haven't. Because you would have thought they would have paid that meme. They would have played with that meme a little bit. Like, in her gunship, actually have like a Little Mac bobblehead or something. You would have thought they would have played it off by now, but whatever. I would have did it just.
They probably will at some point.
Yeah,
they just haven't done it in the way they like.
Yeah, because it's just funny. It's that whole thing during the Wii U was just hilarious.
All for Smash 4. Everybody wanting to. I was like, where did this even come from?
It was because somebody made the team that makes the little comics, the little mini comics.
Yeah,
they made a mini comic, because remember during the Lil Mac intro video, he uppercuts Samus. So that's where they got that from. So the first little comic was basically like her at one of his fights talking about my place, round 2 at my place, and Lil Mac looking scared. So
I don't blame him.
It was just funny because they kept doing that. And I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, man, Nintendo should really run with this. they should really run with it. Because the next funny one was the whole Isabel and Doom guy, and some of the artists from Bethesda saw it like, dude, and they made their own. Some of the artists made their own art. They're like, wait, what? And then they put the me suit in there in the game, and I'm like, okay, y'all really going there. The crossover nobody knew they needed. Animal Crossing and Doom.
I still want that to happen. I so badly want that to happen.
That game would be so funny. Just make it a comedic game.
Make it a comedic game and make Tom Nook like I've already described how it works. Make them run a little caravan where they going through different areas and as things happen, Tom Nook is selling you supplies. Basically, you have all the combat of Doom, but then you have slice of life type stuff from Animal Crossing after you complete a mission.
Yeah.
So basically, if you've ever played ActRaiser, the first one.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
Very similar to that.
Yeah.
Like you go back into levels multiple times and rack up points and then turn those points into bells to spend to get better equipment or to help a settlement that you're trying to take care of. It would work. It would work.
You gotta have Isabel help Doom guy fight though at some point.
Oh, no, I had to lay it out as 3 separate characters playable: as Isabel, Doom guy, and the villager.
Well, they already said the villager is what they turned him into like a serial killer.
Serial killer with his axe.
With his axe, yeah. Rip and tear.
It works. You could make them the playable characters, and Tom Nook's still driving around with high prices.
Yep, on everything.
It's like, oh, you need this RPG?
You sure about that?
You sure? 500,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, it didn't cost you that 500,000, but you only spent 500,000.
Capitalism, baby. Capitalism.
Don't make me get my sons on you.
Yeah. It just have them in the level 2. Have them in the level 2. At points, yeah. No.
Oh yeah, you could actually use them in levels to get mid-level upgrades.
Yeah. So but yeah, the game would have to be from a comedic standpoint.
It would have to be the most nonsensical thing possible.
You can't take it serious. It's gonna be like it ain't gonna be an M-rated game because it just can't, just for the comedy to work.
It could be teen though.
Yeah, teen though, but not because it had to be for the comedy. But yeah, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. Because to me, I think that's the next thing that like gaming should try to do: crossovers.
I mean, more of them, yeah.
Yeah, like crossovers. Like, dude, I remember that rumor that back during the GameCube, it was supposed to have been Metroid and Star Fox supposed to crossover. I'm like,
that rumor came back. That rumor came back twice. It was again for the Wii, then for the Wii U, and then after that, it was like, okay, we give up.
Yeah, but I'm sitting up here. I'm like, if I'm Nintendo, why not do it? You don't know what to do with Star Fox, clearly, and cross it over with Metroid, and use Samus the 2.5D version. You don't have to do the first-person shooter version or whatever. I'll probably make it an action-adventure game like Adventures on Dinosaur Planet, except have the flying missions be better.
Mm-hmm.
have the flying missions be better. I'm like, yeah, dude, that could actually work. Halo.
Technically, they're in the same universe anyway.
Yeah, and that's easy to. It's easier to do sci-fi crossovers because all you got to say is they hit a black hole and they wound up in each other's same space, and that's it.
Trinell, I already did that video, man. You know I did that video. Half an hour long. You know I did that video.
Actually, RJ, I would love to see Marvel versus X-Men 97. Street Fighter versus X-Men 97.
I actually would say classic Street Fighter versus X-Men 97, so it makes sense.
Street Fighter 6 versus Capcom wouldn't do that. I forgot Capcom's allergic to money.
They've been allergic.
Yeah, Capcom won't do that. They're allergic to money.
And Marvel versus DC isn't going to happen, RJH, because unfortunately DC Comics for some reason has beef with Capcom. I have no idea why.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to figure that out.
They'll do it with NetherRealm,
but Marvel
Marvel won't do
DC
it.
ain't gonna let them do that.
Yeah, So I would love to.
not DC, Disney.
Yeah,
Disney ain't going back
I
to
would
do that.
love to see Shueisha versus Marvel DC. That would probably be fun, but we're probably better off doing Shueisha versus like Tekken and
Actually,
what?
Shueisha versus Tatsunoko.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. That would be
Beautiful.
cool. Yeah. Who would you bring from Shueisha though? Just like
Obviously, it's going to be
Goku.
Goku. I think Yusuke is part of that lineup. So
Yusuke is part of that lineup too.
Goku, Yusuke.
Would you bring any of the Gundam characters if they bring Gold Lighting?
Probably a few of them.
Yeah.
A few of them. Have them operate like Jin did in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably bring a few of them. Now I really want to think this out. See why y'all had to do this to me. Now I gotta make this a video.
Shueisha versus Tatsunoko is kind of tantalizing too, because if Tatsunoko versus Capcom is fun. So
Trip. That beef was around before then. That beef was around since the first Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, because
somebody had suggested it. Somebody had suggested that they work with Capcom and Marvel to create Marvel versus DC.
Yeah, because it was right around the time they did the comic. Yeah, there was a Marvel versus DC comic.
It was right around the time they were doing the comics.
Yeah, which is not a bad comic actually. I actually like that run. I thought they did a good job. The only thing I didn't like was and this once again, I don't hate the character. I hate his fans. Batman. Because the stuff they did with Batman when he tried to go with T'Challa, I'm like, bruh, T'Challa.
My thing, and for people going to disagree with me for this, but if Batman tells Captain America that Captain America can beat him,
yeah,
and T'Challa can beat Captain America, there is no way Batman is then going to beat T'Challa. It don't make sense.
It doesn't.
They're not rock, paper, scissors.
That's why, because that was one of the things that because one of the things I did like about it though was how Superman was like, look, man, we got to fight together because I can't beat this dude. And that's when the Hammer Mjolnir deems him worthy, and he picks up Cap's shield. And I'm like, oh snap, they actually did that. The Storm and Wonder Woman team up. I thought that was actually pretty cool. They had a lot of cool stuff in that comic.
It was weird that they put Storm against Wonder Woman in the first place.
It was weird, but when they teamed up, that was so
them teaming up makes sense. But I'm just like, why didn't y'all put Rogue against Wonder Woman?
That made more sense. But they decided to do Storm. I'm like, y'all doing Storm about to. Okay.
Yeah. Technically, Storm could have killed Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I'm like, y'all know what Storm about to do, right?
I mean, Rogue could too if she got her hands on her, but at the same time, that still made more sense because they were more even to each other.
Yeah. I think they were going off the whole Storm
being a
goddess. And yeah, I'm like, okay, that don't make sense. But but yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. I would love to see Devil May Cry and Bayonetta.
I got that video was in the queue. I
would love to see that.
I had to push that one back because I couldn't get all the stuff I wanted together for it.
Now, so the question is, are we talking Cereza from Bayonetta 3 or Dante from Devil May Cry 5 or Devil May Cry 3? Because personally, I prefer Dante from Devil May Cry 3. Personally.
If that's the case, then I would take Dante from Devil May Cry 4 because he's got that personality, but he's still older.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Happy balance.
Yeah.
Where he's more jovial and doesn't really care much.
Yeah.
And him and Cereza would play right off each other. It don't matter which version of her it is.
Yeah, that don't really matter. I just like the 3-barrel gun.
I actually like her hairstyle better than 3 anyway.
Yeah, the 3 it actually, because it's kind of like a mashup of 1 and 2. It's not too long. It's not too short. You know, but you got to bring back the Princess Peach costume.
That might not be doable if it goes multiplat.
By the way, if you want to see that vid, because people were talking about Stellar Blades Eve, I decided to upload some gameplay I did of Bayonetta 2 with Bayonetta wearing the Princess Peach outfit. You're welcome. RJ, I would for Hi-Fi Rush. If Sakurai does make the next Smash Brothers, he should have Hi-Fi Rush in
I
it.
mean, Hi-Fi Rush cross Jet Set Radio.
Actually, that actually, yeah,
That would work.
that would work. That would work.
That would work so beautifully.
Oh, Twin Tail for Bayonetta 3? Yeah. Yeah.
twin tail for Bayonetta 3.
Yeah,
I mean, I could
yeah.
see her. I could see her and Cereza getting along real well.
Yeah. Facts. Facts.
Just sitting down, sipping tea, and little angel demons pop up, and they just start fighting.
They just beat the brakes off of them. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I can rock with that, in all honesty. But yeah, I would love the idea because I really do think like we're getting to a point where like gaming is getting to that whole they don't know what they want to do thing, and this big budget AAA stuff ain't working because
It isn't.
they're not making their money back. And I keep telling people you cannot spend $200 million making a video game. You're not gonna. This is not the movies.
Nope.
You're not gonna make that back in a weekend. You're not.
And they would do so much better if they actually spent the money on creating crossovers because you get multiple fan bases hyped for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like so they would get the sales of both fan bases. Like people will say it doesn't make sense to do it, but a Mario and Sonic crossover makes a hell of a lot of sense and it make a lot of money.
Hell, dude, I remember that discussion we did with Halo and Metroid crossover. You put one game on Xbox, you put one on the Nintendo console.
Yep.
2 games. You do one on one and one on the other.
And let them work cross-play. Let them be cross-play compatible so that they work with each other.
Yeah. It prints its own money.
Makes as much money as you need it.
Yeah.
That's what that would be the thing that would help Microsoft and Sony so much.
Yeah. I don't think because I'm thinking, would Microsoft and Sony do? I know Nintendo probably wouldn't have a problem doing it, depending on
which IP.
Yeah, which IP it is.
I mean, a dark cloud cross Legend of Zelda game.
That could work.
Since Dark Cloud was supposed to be the Zelda killer.
Yeah, that's I think that's the other problem with Sony. Sony done released those kind of statements in the past so much to where people are like, yeah, but when we played it, this shit sucked.
Or it wasn't as good as what you tried to put it against.
Yeah, and you putting it up against like, cause what did that go up against? Did that go up against? That didn't go up against Majora's Mask, did it?
Dark Cloud.
Dark Cloud didn't go, or was that Wind Waker?
It was PS2, so it was PS2, and then it would have been Wind Waker.
Yeah, Wind Waker. So yeah, it wasn't gonna win that.
Oh no, that was before Wind Waker. So it would have been Majora's Mask. It would have been comparison to Majora's Mask.
Still not winning. So yeah. So RJ, should they have sold it off? Probably. Because the thing, I understood what they were doing at the time, but the problem with me was I'm like, they keep buying them and nothing's coming out. So when they was buying those studios, it got to a point. At first, I was happy because like at least people got a way to work, and they should be able to have stable work because Microsoft, $1 trillion company, shouldn't have a problem, putting out content. But then they kept buying more and more, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's been 5 years, and none of these other ones have put a game out yet. It's been 6 years, and none of these other ones have put a game out yet. So
nope, nothing.
I'm like, at this point, I'm like, yeah, they probably should have sold them off or something.
They should have.
Yeah,
that would have been the more responsible thing to do.
Now, Dark Void, good and well, I've been harping on a Xenoblade Warriors game,
and I already did that video. Now you just insulting me, man.
Well, because that's the
I
only
already did that video.
The only thing that can save all this controversy that's happening in gaming is Assassin's Creed Warriors.
No. But the Assassin's Creed cross Zelda, where you're playing as either Sheik or Gerudo. One of those.
Or Gerudo, yeah. But I don't need 30,000 stealth missions. I need like more action stuff, especially if I'm playing the Gerudo side. Mm-hmm. And please, God, don't let Ubisoft touch. I mean, no, man, because they try to turn that thing into a damn live service game. Yeah, I know how Ubisoft get down now.
Man.
Chanel, I actually like this idea. Mysterious Murakami Castle cross Soul Calibur.
I mean, if Namco Bandai is not going to give Nintendo Soul Calibur, take Nintendo's sword-based characters.
Yeah.
Make a game like that.
I mean, we did one with Legend of Zelda when Breath of the Wild came out. We did one where we were like, dude, we could have, like, dude, if you don't want to port or make a Soul Calibur game, then if I'm Nintendo, I'm optioning that team to make a Soul Calibur game just for us.
Yep.
Since y'all don't want to, and that way Sony and Microsoft can't say nothing because it's Nintendo IP. Nintendo characters. Y'all can't say nothing. Y'all do. We couldn't get the best version of Soul Calibur HD
which would have had everything.
Yeah, everybody, but y'all could, but we couldn't. So we'll just do this then. And make more than y'all did combined.
And the game wouldn't cost that much because they'd be using the same engine.
Yep. It wouldn't cost that much to make, and everybody go home happy and paid. But I digress. Because I was like, dude, it was too easy to do. So, oh well. This is what we have, I guess. But all right, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you everybody in the chat for coming through. We appreciate you. Don't forget, BIPOC Stream Awards. Second round is live, so please, we got the link in the description below. Make sure you vote if you haven't had a chance to vote in the second round yet. Also, we had earlier today, me, Vicky, and Youngles did our season review for X-Men 97. Please check that out. Also did a live stream of Neo, The World Ends With You, earlier today as well. And that Bayonetta 2 gameplay that I promised. Check it out. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Andre, what you got for us?
Just a couple videos from this week. Talking about the Switch rumor stuff for the successor, as well as talking about the Helldivers 2 controversy, because it seems that the Helldivers 2 video for some reason ain't getting love, but everybody was able to see the Switch video. So
okay, that's weird.
It's just YouTube. If it's not Nintendo related or Sega related on my channel, for some reason it suffers.
Damn. Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay, that's kind of messed up and weird. Then again, that's on brand for YouTube. It's pretty much on brand. All right, peeps. Y'all have a good night. We'll catch you guys next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out, people.
Peace, everybody.